All grunts are equal, but some grunts are more equal than others. Gromnash Hellscream. This famous quote, now seen as a warning sign about the dangers of gruntism, was once the national slogan of the Reforgis faction, the most dangerous group of grunts in a dark period following Grom's death. Grom's heroic sacrifice may have freed the orcs from a demonic curse, but it may have introduced a more sinister realization in the orcish horde. Not every grunt was the same, and some grunts had more power than others to influence the horde's path. Instead of uniting under one banner, the gruntish horde splintered into several groups, each led by a different commanding grunt with exceptional skill. War waged without end, culminating in a chaotic three-way battle at Gromdur Field. Grom's Warcraft 2 grunts and Karghast's Blade Fist's Forgotten Legions fought with all their strength to prevent Gromnash from reforging the horde. In the end, the three sides fought each other to utter devastation. Just as it looked like the Reforgists were about to win, Warcraft 2 Grom used Divine Pulse, glitching the AI and destroying the entire battlefield. As the dust cleared, every grunt was dead, the Reforgist dream of a successful game were smoldering ashes, and only a few peons survived. This is why, today, I will be attempting Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness, only commanding peons. Act 1 is pretty easy, so let's start in Act 2, where we encounter our first real roadblock. I start this level as a sizable army, 3 peons, and 1 goblin zeppelin. I'm supposed to use my army to invade a small human base, but without being able to command that army, things are a lot more challenging. After my first 2 attempts go nowhere, I realize what I have to do. By sending in my peons into the base, I can get the human army to chase my peons towards my army. Then, my army kills a couple human units, forcing the humans to retreat back to their base. 2 of my grunts chase the humans to their base, and by combining my 3 peons with my 2 allied grunts, I'm just barely able to take out every human unit. After that, I'm stuck with a dilemma. I can either build my Great Hall immediately in a terrible location, or wait for my 2 remaining peons and grunt to destroy the enemy town hall before building up. I choose the latter, eventually giving myself a base. I'm not totally in the clear yet. My supply is 14/1, so I only mine gold with 1 peon while sending my second peon back to massacre my starting army. With my zeppelin and 2 destroyers I can't get rid of, I still need to build 2 farms before I can start training more peons, so my development is way too slow. The humans send an attack wave before I can build up. While I barely hold off the first attack, the second one is just way too much for me to handle. So that's a reset, but I'm not too worried. If I construct guard towers early instead of focusing on farms, I should be fine. It only took me 3 attempts to get a Great Hall, so surely this level can't be that bad, right? Yeah. The next try, I lose all my peasants trying to attack the human base. Then my units don't follow enemies into the human base, letting them build a barracks. The humans kill my peons. I go too far into the enemy base and lose 2 peons while luring only 1 footman out of there. Next attempt looks solid, as I get up a town hall and a lumber mill. Unfortunately, my grunt spends time attacking the human lumber mill instead of harassing their peasants, letting the humans train a footman and destroy my tower before it can upgrade. My next attempt, the same thing happens, with 2 footmen destroying my tower before it finishes. Then I just kinda fail. I fail even more spectacularly. Footmen from their barracks destroy me again. My next attempt, I just sit in stunned silence while trying to contemplate my situation. Finally, something different happens, as I get my catapult to charge halfway to the enemy base. This doesn't actually help, as humans destroy my catapult before I can do anything with it, but the lack of range firepower ends up actually saving me. I lure more human units back to my army, and this time, my grunts take the bait. 1 grunt chases the humans back to their gold mines, slaughtering their peasants. I still have 2 peons alive, building a Great Hall and a lumber mill as soon as I can get them. Then, instead of trying to get rid of my units, I keep them alive, rushing for a guard tower. Before building up my supply, I construct a second guard tower by my lumber mill, then create a third tower to further protect me. This investment in security pays off, as I'm able to ward off the first few attack waves with towers, then get rid of my excess units. Once I'm able to train peons, the level gets pretty easy. My attack on the enemy base comes in 2 stages. First, I chop down all the trees and build cannon towers on an island close to the enemy base. This cuts down on enemy destroyers and makes approaching their main base a bit easier. Then, I come in with numbers. I unload 24 peons onto the island, destroying as much of Red's army as I can. Then, using the space I carved out, I construct 5 guard towers. Red eventually cleans up my peons and sends a ballista to attack my towers, but I'm able to send reinforcements in time. Once I've destroyed the enemy ballista, it's just clean up from there. With that, I've beaten the game's first real level. This is going to be a long challenge, isn't it? Mission 7, 2 peons, 1 dream. After a quick non-base level, we get to our next roadblock, the Fall of Stormguard. This level continues the trend of starting the player out with nothing and asking them to take a base by force. Normally, I'd have a small army, but today I have 4 peons. My workers barely escape their starting island, commandeering a conveniently located nearby transport. Only 2 peons make it into the transport, and I need to figure out how to set up my base. There are 3 accessible gold mines in this level. The first, the one you're supposed to take, is guarded by a guard tower and multiple footmen. The second is a small island with a singular guard tower on it. Both of these paths are way too much for my 2 damaged peons to secure, so I'm seemingly stuck with one option, an undefended gold mine on the far edge of the main human base. However, that mine has a problem. When I've tried to take it in the past, I can only chop a small amount of lumber before I start aggroing enemies in the enemy base. However, I figured out a solution in my troll run that I can use here. Instead of dropping both my peons off to the gold mine, I make a pit stop, dropping one off to the main island where I'm supposed to start. Then, I send my other peon to the gold mine, destroy some walls, and construct a great hall. To avoid alerting enemy destroyers to my position, I send my transport far away from either peon and start mining gold. Once I earn enough gold, I construct a lumber mill on the southern island, then start building farms and a guard tower there. My economy takes a long time to develop because I start with 14 supply that I have no way to get rid of, and a couple archers attack my gold base. Without any space to build towers, I crumble and have to reset. Still, this is a pretty easy fix. My next attempt, I just chop a tiny bit of lumber on the gold island, using the space to construct a guard tower to protect my mining peon. This works, and I'm eventually able to construct a second great hall on Lumber Island, build a cannon tower to free the gold mine there, and start building up both bases. With the income from both mines, I build an excessive amount of towers right next to the enemy base. My towers just slowly crawl their way through the enemy base, wreaking havoc on the enemy defenses. My second gold mine runs out before I can blow up everything, forcing me to take a third mine, but I'm not in any serious danger. I finish off the base, then construct additional towers to blow up enemy ships. Unfortunately for me, when I destroy Red's last grounded structure, Red's destroyers move in, sniping my last transport. Before I realize what's happened, I've run out of money and Red still has units in the starting prison. At the time, I'm not taking this run too seriously, thinking I'm probably going to fail pretty soon and not make this into a video, so I just get rid of these units using my starting army and move on. This isn't a huge deal though, because while scripting this video, I went back and beat it legit. No new strategies, just slightly more efficient play, and the level isn't too bad. Mission 8, the tutorial for Terror. Going into this run, I did not think only commanding peons would be possible. This level isn't the reason why, but it does explain why. The humans have 2 bases on this level, a sparsely defended main base to the south, and a big, well-defended island in the center. Thankfully, their main base is actually very easy to take out. I send a transport with 6 peons to land in an undefended area north of their base, construct a bunch of guard towers, then use my peasants to destroy a nearby ballista. This gives my towers time to upgrade, letting me slaughter Blue's peasants, knocking out their production out of the game. To beat this level, I need to destroy Blue's central island, which is insanely well defended. Walls of towers, knights, ballista, and archers line this island's shore, leaving no room for clever positioning to bail me out. I'm going to need to go in and brute force it, which is not going to be easy. The good news is that this map has a quite frankly ludicrous amount of gold on it. By the time I've mined out the map, I have 145,000 golden peons, ready to lay down their lives to overwhelm the island. Cue the music! Mission 9, The Terror. Going into this run, I was pretty sure Mission 8 was doable. Now, imagine that mission, but harder, without a bunch of extra gold, with a main base that's more massive and almost as ridiculously fortified as the center island. If that's not enough, also imagine that the enemy has a ton of battleships that will destroy your transports and towers, and paladins that can heal off any damage your peons do to them. So, yeah, I'm screwed. This run is 100% absolutely totally over. This level is why I was hesitant to even try this challenge, and why I'm certain I'll never release the video. But you never know until you know, right? Please? Maybe? My first attempt, I focus on scouting, trying to find any weak spot in Red's defenses. Maybe there's one tiny place I can construct a tower, a place where I can unload without being blasted by paladins, ballista, and cannon towers. So that place doesn't exist. Red's defenses on this level are insane. The best spot I can see to launch an assault is on the southwest edge of Red's base. I have just enough room to construct one scout tower outside of cannon tower range, but that tower is still in range of a defending ballista. Sending peons in to destroy the ballista puts them in range of cannon tower fire, while aggroing more paladins. I can stall out enough time to upgrade my tower by distracting the ballista with my transport, but as soon as it finishes upgrading, the ballista and several paladins destroy it immediately. While this is all happening, battleships blast my coastal towers, destroyers threaten to sink my transports, and Red's ground waves force me to keep up my defenses at home. On my last desperate attempt to set up some sort of attack, a battleship finds my tower and I exit the game. Yeah, this level's exactly as hard as I thought it would be. That's it, end of the line. Instead of trying again, I give up and play the human campaign. The entire Peasants Only campaign you saw last video was played after this point, because there's nothing in the human campaign that comes even close to this level. At this point, I figured I'd try the human campaign, probably fail there too, then close the book on these videos because there's nothing I can do. At least, that's what I thought. But, as many of you astute viewers may be noticing, you are watching a video right now. I learned something while playing the human campaign, something game-changing, that gave me the slightest bit of hope. So, after beating Peasants Only, I came back. I set up a stream, hoping all of you could help me solve this puzzle and beat this impossible level. My first attempt ends in about the same way, in utter disaster. After it's clear I have no hope of winning conventionally, I start experimenting with Goblin Zeppelins. In the human campaign, I learned that I can patrol a flying machine on top of an enemy cannon tower, forcing enemy destroyers to attack the tower while my flying machine dodges. The humans would just repair any damage I deal to the main island, but the central island doesn't have any peasants or anti-air, making it a prime target for this strategy. Unfortunately, lining up this shot is a lot harder when the destroyer is actively chasing my Zeppelin, and my first few attempts end in tragedy. After several attempts though, I learn the secret. If one point of my patrol is out of the destroyer's range, and the other point of my patrol is inside their range, the destroyer's shots will hit the tower directly underneath. By using this strategy, I'm able to take out several central island cannon towers before I restart the level. My next attempt, I come in with a new strategy. Instead of trying to attack the main base, I go straight for the central island. I screw up a lot, but Zeppelins are pretty cheap, so whenever I lose one I'm able to replace it immediately and continue my assault. Over a blisteringly long time, I'm able to get rid of every single cannon tower and ballista on the central island. I still don't have a clear path. My first attempt is just to attack directly, which is an utter disaster. Then, I try to kill enemy paladins with a destroyer, which also doesn't work, because the paladins heal each other faster than I can damage them. Then, I try to unload peons in various places, attempting to distract the paladins long enough to get up a tower, but it doesn't work. I try a lot of things, and when I get down to 9,000 gold, I realize I'm not going to make it. Red is out of money at this point, so, figuring I can't glitch the AI too badly, I activate my secret technique. After my Grunts Only run, I banned this technique in Warcraft 2 for being too powerful, but right now, it's my only option. I save. And if you think that's wrong, well, You know, I think I'm going to keep... If I beat this level with saves, I think I'm going to be okay with that because this is absurd.
Never, and I've got to make my decision. This time it could be my moment. Is this a mirage or a chance to fulfill my mission? A river in a dry land, the left is in a lost land, a heartbeat for a demon, a oasis in a strange land. I'm given the balance, but I'm standing on razor's edge now. What quick, all my life is over. One strike just a pain, then I'm out of his field of vision. Don't ask why I'm ready, but I'm ready to strike him down now. I've just saw the new stars, there's no time for indecision. Had a selling my word of conflict. One goes what keeps me going. Take back what I lost to the bosses of greed and fear. Yeah. Don't ask why I'm ready, but I'm ready to take them down now. The time for a new start is constantly drawing nearer.
When the hope of new
problem with hitting the walls is that I don't have enough time to. If I had... Like, if I had done it earlier, then maybe. Wait a second. I think I'm still losing? Oh my gosh, I killed a paladin. I mean, I'm out of money. Yeah, exactly. But... oh my gosh, I killed all of them. Wow. Except for one. But... okay, wait, this is actually doable. Maybe. After about 45 minutes of attempting the tower rush, I finally get rid of every single paladin on the island, only to learn I don't have enough money to actually win on this attempt. However, I learned that this is possible, so I take a break to come back refreshed and try the level again. This time, I get back to a similar position and save with 30,000 gold in the bank. I've done it once, so surely it shouldn't be too bad to repeat my success, right? Right? Okay, this is bad, but... well, that's pretty cool. Hold on. Hold on. I have no idea how I just set this up. Come on. Okay. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, come on, please. Repair fast enough. Repair fast enough. You got this. Oh my gosh. How did it happen? I have no idea how that happened. But okay, I'll take it. I think I win. I have no idea how I did that. And I am 100% sure I could not repeat that if you asked me to. That peon was just in the perfect place. Amazing. Amazing. After all that, the level was conquered, and I am amazed. The run lives. Mission 10. It gets easier? I have a tradition in these runs that every time I play the Destruction of Stratholme, I play really badly and have an embarrassing loss, before crushing it on my next attempt. It happened in Grunts only and in Trolls only, so will it continue here? Well, first of all, this level does force me to use Goblin Sappers to blow up a peon-proof wall, which sucks. My first real challenge is freeing my gold mine, which takes a few tries. To do it, I just lure a few enemy footmen into my army, prompting my ogre to chase the footmen to the gold mine. My ogre ally frees the base, and I can actually start the level. It's not too hard to build up a base, and eventually I construct a lumber mill close to Blue's main. I feel like I'm doing great, until 2 paladins show up at my lumber harvesting base. I realized I haven't constructed any defenses there yet, so my peons get slaughtered. I eventually stabilize and build some guard towers there, but it definitely hurts. I eventually take a new gold mine, then face another minor disaster as I start chopping into the enemy cannon towers. I react a bit slowly to that, losing a bunch of peons, but still feel pretty stable. The enemy base is fortified with cannon towers, ballista, paladins, and archers. My first attempt is a frontal assault with towers, which runs into some issues. A ballista picks off my towers, and I can't charge these ballistas while they're in tower range. After realizing the enemy gold mine is low, I decide I need to grind them out and wait for Blue to run out of money. After a while, I see they stop training units, so I see my chance to strike. I train a whole bunch of peons, run in to get rid of their cannon towers, and I don't destroy a single tower. Also, it turns out Blue still has repair money, so all the damage I dealt is quickly healed back up. I rebuild, then attempt to take out one of their cannon towers with my own tower. I get a tower up, attack their cannon tower, and that's when an enemy paladin runs in and destroys my tower. Also, this action seems to wake up Blue's AI, which starts training paladins and sending them at me, 2 at a time. So I wait for a while defending my base, but things are hopeless. I pet my cat while thinking about what to do next, then try again. My next attempt, I play a lot more carefully early on, only aggroing enemies after I've built up enough defenses to deal with them. Then, instead of charging the front, I construct a cannon tower near the back of the base. This tower destroys their stables and 2 enemy guard towers, which may or may not be a good decision. On one hand, it means that Blue can't train paladins anymore, but it also means that Blue trains more ballistas, which could be terrifying. I get a few towers in the back of Blue's base, and they only respond with 1 ballista, which is curious. I press on, constructing more towers, and they still only respond with 1 more ballista. Okay, so this is getting weird now. Usually the AI has a lot more than this. I reach their gold mine, and... oh wow. Blue locked themselves out of their gold mine. I've seen them do it many times before, but never on this level, and I'm never prepared for it when it happens. Well, okay then. With Blue's AI screwing themselves over, this level is suddenly trivial. I need to train destroyers to lure their ships into my towers, and need to use one to destroy Blue's last oil platform, but my peons crush everything on land. Stratholme is purged, and my tradition of failing this level once per challenge continues. Mission 11, Blizzard Unleashed. The Dead Rise as Quel'Thalas falls is not a level I was expecting to be all that hard. After all, there is no naval sections, and there are plenty of gold mines, and the enemy attack waves aren't that bad. It's normally a breather before the final act, where the campaign gets really tricky. At first, things seem to be going pretty well. I scoop up gold mines on the map and systematically exterminate outlying resistance groups. Then, as I try to construct a tower closer to Blue's main base, something terrifying happens. My tower is destroyed by a ballista, which is normal. Then, as I start retreating from the area, I notice the place my tower used to be gets hit by a torrent of falling hail. Multiple blizzards hit that spot, obliterating anything and everything that could have ever stood there. And I realize what's about to happen. Blue has mages with blizzard. No tower is safe. Instead of trying to take an obvious gold mine in the south, I try to push the enemy base. This disastrous decision is predictably awful, as I run out of money really quickly, forcing me to expand regardless. Once I have a bit of extra money flowing in, I try pushing again, but it's just not working. Blizzards destroy my scout towers before they can even upgrade into cannon towers, forcing me to constantly rebuild. Eventually, I'm able to drain the mage's mana enough to destroy a couple guard towers north of their base, but I just don't have enough money to crack their main defenses. My next attempt, I try to attack from the northeast instead, but the same thing happens. Blizzard just destroys my towers before they can start hitting the enemy base, and my attacks are constantly rebuffed. See, here's the thing. Most of the time, Warcraft 2's human and orc factions are very similar, which means the same tactics work against both races. In this case, however, the factions are incredibly different. Death Knights have social anxiety, but mages are nightmarish, extroverted butterflies. There is no countering mages with Goblin Zeppelins. Mages counter everything I have. So, the Peon Collective was stuck and had to ask for help.
These bearded gits are destroying all of our stuff. Hey, Umi, you beat them before. How did the Zork come?
Mages can be quite the bother. As the leading peasant professor on anti-mageology, I am quite experienced with these foes. The way to defeat mages is to pray they don't have blizzard and hope they walk into your towers for no reason.
But what if they have that pointy icy thing that falls from the sky? I mean, blizzard, innit?
Oh dear, that's quite the dilemma. Could you perhaps make sure they don't have blizzard?
That is the most useless thing that anyone ever Wait a second. That might actually work. You heard that, boys? Let's do it.
My problem here is mages with blizzard. My solution is, just don't let blue get blizzard. The key to this level is a blue lumber mill that's unguarded by towers and far away from the main base. By sneaking a large group of peons towards it, I can set the building ablaze. This forces blue to send their peasants to repair the structure, but the peasants never make it there. My towers slaughter all of blue's peasants, knocking them out of the game immediately. Now that blue is out of money, they can't research blizzard. Without blizzard, this map falls easily. Mission 12, How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Getting Bombed. We've reached another level with an utterly absurd start. Normally, we start with a small army that we can use to take a base, but today we start with 4 peons. There are 4 gold mines on the map, and all of them are guarded. The first option, the one you're supposed to take on this mission, is guarded by 2 ogres and a grunt. That's not viable. The second option, which is supposed to be your expansion island, is guarded by a small army. This is even less viable. The other 2 gold mines are the enemy's main bases, and we're settling right in between them. This is supposed to be a naval level, so blue and purple both have severely lacking land defenses that we can take advantage of. When microed well, 4 peons is just enough to destroy 1 coastal cannon tower, which gives our peons a safe place to stand near purple's mine. Then, my peons can destroy a few walls with no opposition, which almost gives enough space to construct a great hall. The key word here is almost. Blue has a cannon tower just west of this narrow strip, and it can hit my peons when they destroy one last wall that's blocking me from constructing my base. To destroy this wall, I need to dart my peons in and out of cannon tower range while baiting the tower to shoot my transports. On the rare occasions I manage to destroy this wall, I can construct a Great Hall, but there's another problem. Blue's cannon tower is in range of my Great Hall. My town center is under siege and there's nothing I can do about it. One peon repairing can out-heal the cannon tower's damage, but repair isn't free, so I can't keep it up forever. There's another problem too. Whenever I train a peon, the peon spawns in range of this cannon tower. If I'm fast, I can move the peon out of the cannon tower range before it dies, but any delays means my peon will die. Blue also has an annoyingly placed farm that makes it harder for my peons to run away, increasing the chances Blue's towers will pick him off before he gets out safely. There is some good news at least. Once they escape spawn, my peons are able to mine Purple's gold without any issues. By destroying a couple of walls to the east, I can construct a lumber mill and harvest lumber from small forests to the south. This won't last forever, but it does let me construct a guard tower near Purple's mine, knocking Purple out of the game. I also start with several farms, so I don't need to worry about supply. Also, as long as I have no transports or goblin zeppelins near my base, the enemy naval attack waves will go elsewhere, leaving my base alone. I can survive, but it's a struggle and making progress is hard. My issue is Blue's cannon tower. Destroying it is incredibly difficult because Blue has a single Death Knight that patrols their base, and Death Coil immediately gets rid of any peon strike force I can muster. I get a couple of attempts that look pretty good, but I continuously underestimate the resiliency of a cannon tower supported by a Death Knight, which spells my doom. Getting desperate, I try for a few different strategies, none of which make it too far. I experiment with taking my starting base, but that's completely unviable. I try to destroy Blue's cannon tower first, but Purple's cannon tower covers more of the southern wall than Blue's does, preventing me from constructing a Great Hall. I also try to dodge cannon tower shots in an attempt to take out both towers, and get surprisingly close a couple of times, but I don't succeed. Then, my footage got corrupted, and I do not remember what I did next. One of my recordings ends right here, the next recording begins with a victory screen, and I actually somehow forgot what happened in between. So, of course, I had to beat this level again while writing the script. I may not remember how I did it the first time, but while watching my footage, I realized I was just being way too scared of Blue's cannon tower. Sure, it's stressful setting up a Great Hall under constant fire, but it's not actually that dangerous, and I don't need to be in a hurry here. So, I construct my Great Hall, then just build while pretending Blue's cannon tower isn't even there. I wait until I have about 11 peons, then send a full control group to attack the cannon tower. Once Blue's tower goes down, I can construct guard towers next to both enemy gold mines. This gets rid of every enemy peon, which gives me 2 massive gold mines to work with. From here, the mission is pretty easy. Progress is slow but permanent, and I have more than enough gold to get rid of everything on the map. Mission 13. Blizzard Strikes Again. The city of Dalaran is the largest enemy base in the entire game. Towers are everywhere, and attack paths are narrow. I struggled on this level with only grunts, but did it pretty easily with only trolls, so I'm not really sure how this is going to go. Before doing anything else, I kill my starting units, then run my peons towards a gold mine. A few footmen intercept my peons, killing 2 of my 3 workers, but one survives to construct a Great Hall. From here, building my base is pretty easy, and I'm ready to start my attack. Advancing takes forever in this level because towers are everywhere, but I eventually reach a purple farm outside of tower range. By dealing damage to that farm, I can force Purple to send peasants to repair it, theoretically bankrupting them. Purple responds by launching an attack, sending paladins and mages to get rid of my towers. At first, the mages cast Fireball, but then, a blizzard falls, my towers are destroyed, and Purple successfully repairs their farm. I'm worried, but I have no choice but to try again. This time, when I get my guard towers, the mages don't show up. Purple spends their last money on some Griffin Riders, and I successfully bankrupt them. I advance further, but even though Purple is out of money, they aren't out of mana. As soon as the mages can actually find my towers, they start blizzarding again, and it's over. Unsure what to do, the orcs ask for advice once again.
We're stuck fighting those mages again. Do you have any other way to get rid of them?
Well, as you know, you must ensure they do not have blizzard.
The spell, the weather condition, or the developer?
Yes.
Well, that was unhelpful. My next attempt, I try a different start. Instead of immediately rushing towards my gold mine, I just construct my base in place. I immediately put down a lumber mill to chop some nearby trees, then construct a great hall. After setting up my lumber base, I run to the gold, having just enough money to set up a second great hall next to my starting mine. This strategy certainly has its costs, as it slows down my start considerably, but it has benefits too. I catch up on economy quickly as I produce twice as many peons as normal, and I can chop the northern forest without running my peons through footmen guarding the path. Once I finish chopping the trees up north, I run my northern peons to join my southern forces, slaughtering the 3 footmen guards along the way. Honestly, I don't know if this strategy was worth it, but I felt clever doing it, and that's what counts. For some reason, Purple's mages are nowhere near as aggressive this time, and I start to make progress. I destroy Purple's castle and get a great haul near their gold mine before running into serious trouble. Unfortunately, I'm running low on money, so in order to save costs, the Department of Tower Efficiency cancels all plans to build non-essential towers near my Great Hall. I only construct 1 cannon tower to get rid of 2 of Purple's guard towers that are blocking access to the central gold mine. My lack of secondary defenses proves fatal, as a Purple counterattack destroys it. Not learning my lesson, I try again with less support, and Purple destroys my attack. Then I try a third time, with literally only enough funds to construct 1 more cannon tower, and it works. I've secured a second mine. Unfortunately for me, Purple's base is still huge. I'd clear out the left side, but just don't have enough money to finish. I think I've answered my question now. This level sucks, and it's going to be a slog.
And we've just checked. This Activision purchased Blizzard, the company, in 2008. It's too late to stop it! Zog it!
Very unfortunate news. This game came out in 1995. Is time travel an option?
No, not me. Not ever, nope.
My next attempt, Purple's mages are more aggressive, and I just give up early on.
We was looking more into it and we learned that Microsoft purchased Activision in 2023. Could this help us defeat the magical Yumis?
Ooh, yes! It looks like Microsoft just nerfed Blizzard from 12 range to 10 range. Could that help?
We will have nothing to do with these reforged gits. The Peon Collective Respect Tradition. For Grum, down with Grumnash, Grummash, Grumsmash, whatever the other thing is.
I go back and forth on the northern base strategy, and I'm not really sure what the best approach is. Attempt 4 goes pretty well at first, as I clear out the left side base with 14k left in the bank. Still, Purple's northern mages are just so annoying, and make pushing up there ridiculously expensive. I spend my bank and end up with less progress than I started with, so I reset.
Nothing we's doing is working. Blizzard is just zogging everything we build up.
Perhaps we're thinking about this all wrong. What if we dared Microsoft to use Blizzard to compete with its other spells? Would their mages combine Blizzard with its other products?
That's a good plan. They would never risk to expand Blizzard. We build our towers next to their structures and then
they'll be too afraid to use Blizzard and run into your towers for no reason.
My 5th attempt, I take a hint from Microsoft's gamebook, go full Bethesda, and it just works. Purple is weirdly passive while I slowly creep through the lower sections of their base, then they pounce when I construct towers near their castle. Purple's counterattack, though, ends in disaster for them. By stealthily constructing my towers right next to Purple's other structures, I take advantage of Purple's mages being too cowardly to blizzard their own structures. Instead, they opt to cast spells on my peons. By not using Blizzard, Purple's mages walk up to my towers, graciously allowing me to take every one of their lives. It's hard to overstate how huge a win this was. Sure, Purple destroyed my towers and forced me to rebuild them, but Purple's biggest threat was neutralized, without doing much to me at all. From there, the level is slow, but manageable. Purple's base is still enormous, and I barely have enough money to finish, but I do it. The power of the mage has forever been broken, and the Peon Collective is free to advance on the final level.
we got them mages. Nothing can stop the peons now.
I've beaten the level, but I still have to wonder, Was the professor right all along? Was there a way to just not let them have Blizzard?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Hello everyone, my name is Tonare and I despise mages, and Death Knights too. This hatred is a passionate one which I have quickly developed over the course of my worker-only runs. It's not exactly helped by the fact that the last couple of levels in Tides of Darkness are chock full of them, Dalaran being the shining example. Of course, this is to be expected from a city bearing a name such as the City of the Magi, ruled by the magocratic nation of Dalaran, mage population everyone, and you most definitely will get blizzarded into the Stone Age if you so much as try to destroy it using only peons. The Siege of Dalaran provides us with a Dalaran that certainly fits its story description of Mage Town. And, as expected, you will get blizzarded into the Stone Age if you try to attack it from the front, as I have learned during my initial attempts at beating this mission with only peons. Build a great hall? Blizzard. Build a tower? Blizzard. Stay idle in your base? Blizzard. There are so many blizzards in this level that you wouldn't be far off to assume it takes place in Northrend. And furthermore, their base is so well fortified that I lost every time I went with a frontal assault. You get the idea. These guys will drop more blizzards on you than Siberia in the winter. But if that's such a problem, why not simply not let them use Blizzard? Crucially, to cast Blizzard, Dalaran needs mages. If they have no mage tower, possibly as a result of peon action, then they have no mages and, as a result, no blizzards. So let's simply destroy the mage tower. Though their mage tower is hidden all the way in the back of their base. You would need at least 1,000 peons just to reach it. Or simply a dozen peons in the right place at the right time. So what I did was this. I immediately rushed down to the gold mine to the south while distracting the enemy footmen with my army units. Keep in mind that, while Redwing's rules prohibit him from commanding army units, my rules allow me to do so if I do not use them to cause harm to enemy units. Then I built a base. I then also built another base on the other side of the map because I'm going to need the gold. And then the big play comes in. I build a shipyard, a foundry, and 2 transports filled with peons. I sail upwards, above the uppermost portion of the cross-shaped island. On this portion of the island there exists a lone cannon tower, a vulnerable weak spot that can be exploited. I unload my peons and I attack it. The mages strike at my peons, but it's not enough. I destroy their tower, after which I do a quick retreat, replenish my forces, and return. My peons build a guard tower, its function being to destroy their nearby guard tower. Their knights seem more confused by this than anything, allowing me to dispose of them. They kill my tower with blizzards after a little while, but it doesn't matter. I've killed their nearby guard tower, allowing me full access to their mage tower. I then destroy their mage tower with my guard towers, practically annihilating Dalaran's defenses. After that, it's over for them. If they haven't got Blizzard, they just fall apart and can be easily yet slowly dismantled by pushing with towers, which is exactly what I do. I just watch out for my resources because they can get pretty tight in this part. And that is how 12 peons in the right place can make all the difference in the world. Thank you for your time, everybody, and see you around.
Mission 14. The easiest mission. Normally, finales are ridiculously tough. On paper, this level has everything that's made this run difficult. There is a naval landing, griffins make it hard to move around, and the enemy has blizzarding mages. However, it's really not that bad. My main base is easy to defend because the enemy doesn't send battleships, and towers at my shore completely counter enemy ballista. I also get a ridiculous amount of money, and there are plenty of relatively undefended landing zones that I can construct a forward base in. My first couple attempts at naval landings get shut down hard, but I'm never in any real danger of being overrun, so I just wait for white to run out of money. When they do, I can pretty easily unload 18 peons on the enemy island and set up a base. By spreading out my towers to reduce the effectiveness of blizzard, I'm slowly able to crawl my way through the enemy base and destroy it. The terrain of this map is so open that it's easy to find new spots to build towers, and pretty soon, the enemy base has fallen. A couple of victory celebration turtles destroy their last oil platform, and I've done it. This is the first level I've done first try since Mission 8, and was one of the easiest missions of this otherwise ridiculously precise run. Lordaeron has fallen, and the Peon Collective reigns supreme. Reforged may still be an unsalvageable mess, but now, we at least have hope of a new dawn, one that may lead to better days to come. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.